class flights and whatever else. Like someone asked me private, for me, I couldn't do it. But you know, we could potentially fly someone first class if they're a big guest. You know, sometimes these are big people also. Like, you know what I mean?
Does that, and I guess it goes into this next thing, it's the last part I want to talk about, this part of, you know, our business is like, does it mess it up for you when, you know, once the word is that Vlad pays, you have the artist who thinks he's hot, but he's not hot. Yeah. He's like, yo, I'm not doing that shit. Like somebody just told Adam, it was just like, yeah, I'll do an interview with you, 10,000. You know what I mean? Then Adam posted the same dude doing another interview, got 50,000 views.
Right. No, people are delusional sometimes. People think their story is worth more than it's worth. Sometimes people literally have died trying to stick to an amount. And a lot of times you also have this, right? This has been a lot of times this has happened to me where you're talking to a person, you know it's an interesting story, and you're even like, hey, I could pay you whatever else. And they're like, no, I'm working with this company who's doing a documentary on me. A year, 2 years, 3 years later, they're still working on this documentary that's not coming out. That's not even really in pre-production. But the people are telling them to hold off because this will be on Netflix and you're going to get whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever else. So they hold on to this story because there's a carrot being dangled in front of them. And sometimes that carrot never shows up or the person dies while still waiting for this carrot, you know, because sometimes these are older people. So it's, you know, it's all business at the end of the day. If your thing is I never pay for interviews, no matter what, whatever.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't.
Then it's like, okay, but that's your choice. You're going to miss out on certain interviews that someone else will pay for.
100%.
A person will do a smaller platform for a check, as opposed to doing it for you. That it's a bigger platform for a look. That's just life, and you could sit there and say, "Oh, these are principles," and that's okay. You could do those principles. Like I don't, you know, when I did Drink Champs, I didn't charge them. You know, I mean, I don't know if they pay anybody. It's not my business. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. I wouldn't charge them. If I do Breakfast Club, I'm not going to ask for money. If I do your show, I'm not going to ask for money. If I do Adam's show, I'm not going to ask for money. If I do Matt Hoffa's show, I don't ask for money. You know what I'm saying? But there's usually an inferred of like, hey, if I ever reach out to you, you know,
of course,
try to return the favor if possible, even though I'm not doing it just to do that. But it's like, hey, if I ever need you for something, and I've always been, my thing is, if you've done my show, I'll do your show for free. You know what I'm saying as well? Like even if it's a small podcast,
you've always, and you know, I know, like you're not saying that for me, but when I look at it, when I like to be on Vlad TV, but I like to be, and maybe it's the competitor in me. I want to have the biggest interview at the time on Vlad TV.
Right.
You get what I mean?
You usually do.
And I like to have the most relevant. And here's the thing. But I look at it in the usual core essence of why people do interviews. I like when there's a relevant cultural topic happening and people